The band Against Me is in town, and Laura Jane Grace and James Bowman from the band join us in studio here on the Kevin and Bean Show right now. Hi, you guys. What's going on?
Hello.
Hello.
Let me start with you, Laura, and ask, why can't you keep band members in Against Me? And James, have you no shame? How are you? How are you the guy who always says, "No, you guys are quitting. All right, I'm still staying."
Oh man.
Well, me and James are life partners. We've known each
What
other
a long,
since the
tortured
first
history
day
this
of
band
high
has
school.
had.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Long time.
It's
can't
actually
quit
because of James. People leave because of James.
Ah, that makes a lot of sense. Is that frustrating, though? I mean, because we all know that that being in a band is a lot of it has to do with the chemistry of the players. You know, they get together and they create something that's unique. Is it frustrating for you, Laura, to have so many people kind of come and go throughout the years?
I mean, there's definitely been circumstances that were less than ideal timing sometimes when stuff happens, but, it's supposed to be kind of fluid, and if the chemistry stops being there, then it's time to move on, and you don't want to try and force it to make it happen. And I will say, too, that it's like, we have gone through a lot of lineup changes and everything like that, but I really believe that the lineup we have right now is the strongest that the band has ever had, and it's definitely the strongest rhythm section for sure.
Wow, that's great. So you're playing tonight at the Troubadour. That show is sold out, and that's got to be very special for any band, particularly growing up in Florida. You hear about Los Angeles, and now you're here and you're playing a sold-out show at the Troubadour. That's cool.
Very cool, very cool.
And your new record is coming out on January 21st. It's called Transgender Dysphoria Blues. So you are attacking the elephant in the room just head on.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, people write what they know. Tell me about what you sat down to accomplish when you wrote this album.
Yeah, I mean, I guess for me, writing has always been really cathartic and where I turn to work out, whatever I'm going through in life. And I've dealt with gender dysphoria for my whole life and made the decision to transition a couple years ago, and that's really what the record is about. It was kind of, about the experiences leading up to deciding to transition, really.
So you feel like that when you're a little kid as well. You just can't or don't do anything about it.
My earliest memories are gender dysphoria related, for sure. Mm-hmm.
How common is that, Laura? Is that something that millions of people have, hundreds of thousands? What are the numbers like, if they know?
I mean, it's very common, but I don't know if you could get accurate numbers because I don't know if everyone is probably open with that fact.
It causes a crap storm in your life, I imagine. Right?
Well, it definitely flips it upside down, for sure.
Do we know how many, in America, how many people have gone to the step that you have, which is to transgender?
I do not know the statistics off the top of my head. No.
Was there anybody that you could look up to, or anybody who could be a role model for you to kind of follow the path when you decided to make the transition, or were you kind of on your own and just getting what you could off the internet?
Well, I mean, the internet definitely, became a great asset. And when you're younger, there isn't that resource. You really don't know what's going on, And when I was, a kid, or when I was in middle school or whatever, I didn't know the word transgender even, But as I've gotten older, I mean, there definitely have been role models. And I mean, I remember even recently, leading up to deciding to transition, like Mina Caputo, who used to play in a band called Life of Agony, was someone who I saw publicly come out and decide to transition and was definitely an inspiration. But there's been many people along the way, for sure.
Have you talked to Seacrest? Because I think he's somewhere in the process. I can't tell which direction.
I don't have his number.
Let me ask you, James, what was it like for you? I mean, this was a heavy meeting, I guess, at one point when your former lead singer and best friend Tom comes to you and says, "Hey, it's a new ball game here." How did you process it?
It's a ball-less game. Sorry.
Hey-o.
Back to you.
Yeah. I really wasn't surprised, actually. I don't know why, but I don't know.
Well, you've known him pretty much your whole life, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, since I was 14. So it wasn't, I don't know. the signs have always been there, I guess, if you listen to lyrics and stuff of songs. And I think just it being like put in my face, like this is what I'm going through and this is what's happening, it really wasn't shocking or surprising in any way.
Right. And Laura, I fully understand why you needed to do what you needed to do and totally support that. But from a business perspective, you must have had some real concerns about what the future of Against Me would be at that point. Like, how is this going to affect our fans?
Yeah, it wasn't really something that I thought about just because for me it was an issue of survival, you know? That was definitely... I feel like I didn't really have an option also to not come out and fully embrace it, that it would have been more detrimental to start to transition without being open that I was transitioning, that people would have probably been more homophobic or transphobic if they had seen signs, you know. That
it would have been worse on you had you not admitted it up front.
For sure. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And what was the reaction like from your fans? I mean, you've got a big, large fan base around the world. I'm sure you heard a wide variety of opinions, but overall, were they positive and supportive of you?
Overwhelmingly positive and supportive, for sure. Uh-huh.
Wow, that's fantastic. People will ask, and I think I know the answer to this, but let's hear it from you. Why is your voice so similar to how it used to be? I think a lot of people would be expecting you to sound more like a woman.
Well, what does a woman sound like? You know, that's all interpretive or an opinion. But I mean, my voice is my voice. I don't feel ashamed of my voice in any way, and especially with my singing voice. I mean, I think it's a misconception that HRT, hormone replacement therapy, changes your voice. It doesn't. So this is the way I speak. That's just what the deal is.
Was that a worry? Were you worried that your singing voice would change? Or not at all?
No,
that was way in the background.
No, I mean, my voice is like, singing-wise, has undergone like many changes over the years just from wear and tear. You know, you play 200 plus shows a year where you're screaming your head off. It does things to your throat.
Sure.
I
can understand that.
Against Me is here on the Kevin and Bean Show. Laura and James from the band. Their new album, again, is not coming out until January 21st, but the first single is out now, and it's got a charming title. F My Life 666. We're going to take a break and come back and play that here on KROQ. Tell me about the song, though, guys.
Well, the title, a friend of ours whose name was Pope, who passed away about 3 years ago, it was something that he always said. And Pope was a very authentic person and someone who, to me, demonstrated, how you should really live your life, and was definitely one of the steps in deciding to transition was seeing the way he lived his life and ultimately the way he died a little too young. So the title comes from that, and the song itself is about fears with transitioning and about periods of time in your life coming to an end and moving on.
The song is available on iTunes now, but you're going to hear it next right here on the Kevin and Bean Show on the world-famous KROQ. F My Life 666, brand new Against Me. More with our guests when we return right after this on KROQ.